65 doors to get to the topmost level of the tower. Each door is 2600 HP. Each wall is 2400 HP. This is insane. How's it going, Crows? My name is Crow Jack, and welcome back to Rend. In today's episode, I'm going to show you what is probably the most unraidable base you could ever make in this game. And when you see it, when you see the work that went into it, and when you see the details, you're going to agree. I hope. Let's go and show you. But first, I want to show you the old base and why we made this new base and what happened and caused us to make the changes to this new base that you're about to see. It's pretty insane. We are here in our faction base on the Revenant side of our custom server, brought to you by the awesome John Bain. Link in the description down below to his channel. He's the one providing the server. He's awesome. Subscribe to him. He's a beauty. This is our base, and as you can see, this is Asurok Wall. This is tier 4 endgame, the most powerful walls in the game. Our faction has been hard at work making these walls. And let me show you now my old base. Leave the faction base, go out this one door, and my old base is dead ahead. Skyfall reinforced doors, not too bad. That's tier 3. Very powerful doors. Past the spikes, there's the old base. You guys might remember it from my live streams or from the last video. We encountered a little bit of a problem with 1, the base location, and 2, the base design. It looks pretty, but as you can see, it's actually starting to fall apart. What happens is, if you no longer claim a base as your own, it slowly decays over time. I stopped claiming this base as mine, and as you can see, it's decaying. Because what happens in this game, there is something called the Reckoning, which is an event that occurs either once a week, twice a week, depending on your server settings. And the Reckoning is when waves and waves of evil, ghost-like NPCs attack each faction base, and a bunch of PvPs enabled, and it's just a crazy, crazy time. I thought my base had been broken into by an enemy player, because when I was here, I come in through my front door, the doors used to be here, all of my personal crafting stations that were along this wall, destroyed. All of my storage boxes that were along this side of the wall, destroyed. I thought I was broken into and robbed, because if you look, there's little corner triangle pieces. The one corner triangle foundation piece right here was gone. I thought somebody broke this single foundation piece by breaking one. They didn't even go through the door. They didn't even go through the door. They just, I thought, broke the triangle foundation piece, got in here, and jumped up, got in my base, and robbed me blind. Which is fine. That's the purpose of this game. This is like Ark. This is like Conan Survival. Conan Survival? Conan Exile. This is a survival game, PvP, with base raiding as part of it. That's completely intentional. I got mad. I got really mad. And I thought, oh, okay, it's going to be one of those servers. So I built a new base. And then later found out it wasn't an actual player. It was enemy NPCs busting through walls, and by swinging through the walls, they clipped through and broke my stuff. They were attacking this wall. They attacked from this direction, going towards the faction base, and they were swinging through the walls, clipping my storages and clipping my stations, breaking them. That's actually what happened. I thought it was an enemy player. And in my anger, I designed a new base and a new location. And I'm going to show it to you. This thing is amazing. But first, let's summon Susan. Susan! There he is. There's my lovely boy, Susan. I finally figured out how to tame in this game. A pain in the butt. This is my male stag named Susan. So, in the live stream, I asked chat to help me name my stag. And somebody shouted out Susan. I'm like, oh my god, it's a great name. Named it Susan. Realized it was a boy and not a girl. Wanted to change the name from Susan. But as you can see, totally not Susan. Doesn't work. You can no longer change the name. Once you change it, you're stuck. Little did I know that is a Doctor Who reference, but hey, it's okay. I love Susan. He's my boy. Let's take you on a journey. Here are some previous bases. This is a very nice looking base. I wonder whose this is. Take a quick little detour. Whose base is this? This belongs to Grimcall. Good old Grim. He's a beauty. So this is the starting zone. Over there, that's all the tier 1 materials. The grass, the trees, the rocks, all tier 1. We're moving on into the tier 2 zone, which is the wildlands. And I decided I want to build my base somewhere between the tier 2 and the tier 3 stuff. And that tower, right there, is my nearly impenetrable base. Tier 4 rock walls, the highest you can get in the game. Tier 4 doors, the best doors you can get in the game. Let me get rid of Susan. Goodbye, Susan. Divinite reinforced doors, Astaroth walls. This is nearly impenetrable. And many of you are going to look at this very simple tower and say to yourselves, but Crow, what if somebody just busts down your door? Can they not break in? You're right. If they bust down my door, they could break in to this 1x1 room. Oh, they'll just bust down this door, you say. Great. And they break into this little room. And then this little room. And then this little room. I honeycombed, which is an old school strategy for these types of games, the living daylights out of this base to the extent where it's pretty much just impossible. It's just unfeasible to spend the amount of time and the amount of resources to get inside this base. That was just the first level. There are 16 doors per level, except the bottom level is not quite shaped the same as the other levels. I counted it. There is a total of 65 doors. 65 doors to get to the topmost level of the tower. Each door is 2600 HP. Each wall is 2400 HP. This is insane. To give you context, in order for me to repair these doors and take them down, I'll pull it 11. Right click, 25 damage, 25 damage, 25 damage. It would take me a long time to bust through here. Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, but what about other explosives and stuff like that? Let me show you how much damage things generally deal when it comes to explosives. Here we are looking at siege weapons right here. Siege weapon hand tools. The starting one does 1 siege damage per second. A little hammer. Bashing out the doors. Bashing out the walls. 1 siege damage per second. The best one in the game, 18 siege damage per second, requiring a buttload of endgame items. 18 siege damage per second, not taking into account the 400 armor on this door and the 800 armor on this wall. 18 damage per swing. Do you understand how long it would take to get through 65 doors to 18 damage per swing? It can be done. In these games, no place is absolutely unsiegeable or unraidable, but it's very discouraging. Now, you're wondering to yourself, Crowjack, why'd you do this? You have to go through 65 doors on 3 different levels, 4 different levels, to get to where your stuff is. Why would you do that? Wouldn't that take forever to get in and out of your base? It would. That's why we have a backdoor way. Let me show you the backdoor way. You see these platforms. Hold on. I'll close that door. You see these platforms. This is part of the in and out, nice and easy backdoor way that you and I could use if you were to design this base to get to all your stuff up top. Take your build tool. First you're gonna do is you're gonna drop a platform right here, foundation. Then you're gonna switch to the stairs, make some stairs, and then make some stairs, and then make some stairs. And just like this, you can get up to the top of your tower pretty easily for very inefficient cost, very cheap cost. 5 crumblestone, 5 roughwood sticks, and 1 fiber twine. Those are starting area tier 1 materials, and they're super easy to acquire. And bam, we are now up in our tower. In here, we have all of our stations, high-level master sawmill, our tanning racks. All of our stations are here, nice and safe, way up high of any enemies that would ever want to attack us. Sure, it is possible to bust into this base. Sure, you could, if you tried really, really hard, break it all down. But the sheer cost and the sheer time investment is to discourage people from doing so. Now, you could build it higher. You could build it a whole lot higher. You can go like 5 stories, 6 stories, 7 stories high. But I thought, you know what, on this kind of a server, it's more of a casual server. If they manage to bust down the first door and then they walk into a room and it's a 1x1 and there's another door right there, I'm pretty sure at that point, they're just like, I'm done. There are ways to further improve this build, improve this base if you're curious. One of which are spiked barricades, wall spikes that go around the outside of the base to prevent people from just walking up to the base and smacking at the walls. So you can start with that. Right now, I only have access to wooden barricades, but I believe you have access to spiked steel barricades and divinite barricades. I can make those. Spiked divinite barricades, 800 health to go around the outside of your tower to further discourage people from dropping in and saying hello to your base. You can also add bronze wall braces, which actually have even higher versions of them. Divinite wall brace, another 250 health and 400 armor. Because if you looked at the design of the walls in this game, you can see that there is a spot for braces. Let me come down here. You see these wooden bands on the side? That's where those braces go. So you can further enhance, which I probably will do for a future episode for you guys, further enhance the defenses of this base. with divinite wall braces and divinite spikes down below. If you want some more Rend, click this video right here, or if you want something different, click this video right here. This was a phenomenal build to make. It took me almost 40 hours to create, but in my mind, totally worth it and totally awesome.